You're such an asshole.
So I'm going to go old school. Why don't you guys look up Amy Beal, Biehl. Look what her parents did. And that's what we're talking about here. This sickness has been with us for quite some time, but there are two events. It's not a trend, you need statistical data, but an anecdotal trend where you had a lefty, a rank lefty, die by his or her own creation. And in the case I'm talking about, the one that everyone's heard about is this Ryan Carson fellow who was with New York Public Interest Group. That is an old school organization by Ralph Nader. I don't even know if he's alive. And if you didn't check the box to say, do not charge me on my tuition every quarter, I do not want to donate, they would automatically pay a fee to PIRG, PIRG, Public Interest Research Group. And it was MPIRG, Minnesota, and New York PIRG. It was in every state. And I don't know if you know who Ralph Nader is. For you with a positive opinion, he was a thief and he's a scumbag. That's all he was. And so I didn't even know the PIRGs were still around. So Ryan Carson, there's nothing I'm being serious about. There is nothing to say about him. And what I mean by that is he is your standard punchline. He's the butt end of a joke. He's an NPC. He was a robot. He was just a soy boy, Zoomer millennial, gotta help the world. And he's nonprofit. I don't even need to go into the details of the politics or anything like that. He was just another, I'm sure, be honest, another irrelevant human being. Another leftist Democrat who was not going to help any of the purported people they were trying to help or any of the causes. He was just another work avoidant. I'm sure he wasn't an engineer. Someone go look at it. I could be wrong. He was just another kid, probably from the suburbs. Didn't want to work. Was going to be Jessica or Jason Christ. And he went to a wedding in New York City or somewhere abouts. He lived in New York City anyway. He was at a bus stop at 4 a.m. and he just got stabbed and shanked by a criminal in New York. You voted for it. Don't know how many times we could point that out. Oh, the businesses are closing down. You voted for it and you acted on it. All right, that's more like you acted. Your community kept stealing from these businesses and they shut down. You made it in San Francisco. You not only did you make it legal for people to steal up to $900 worth of stuff, the citizens of San Francisco voted those people in. And things are locked behind the Walgreens. You voted for it. Why is housing so expensive? You voted for it. Remember all the money printer go burn, stimmy checks, and the Obama spending binge and the Trump stim? You voted for it. So here we have another one. You don't know about this. And I had to copy and paste it because it was, what is it, NBC or ABC? Pavel Lapere, Lapere. She's in Baltimore, where there are no Republicans. Now, I want you to listen to I'm going to read through this, and I want you to listen, and my regular audience will know, but this is a genuinely non-person. This person does not exist. And what I mean by that is she has never done anything of value. They're going to paint her as a CEO, but the limp dick who wrote this, David Ingram, is painting her a certain way. But just listen to this. This person didn't matter. This person didn't achieve it, but they had opinions. Pavel Lapere was remembered by friends and colleagues Wednesday as part of a glue holding together Baltimore's small tech scene. The 26-year-old CEO of a software startup, EcoMap Technologies, wasn't from Baltimore, but she moved there for college and quickly fell in love with the city. Lapere's body was found Monday at her apartment building with apparent signs of blunt force trauma. Members of the city's tech community said Lapere was a fixture of conferences, happy hours, and other meetups from Baltimore tech workers and founders. So not a worker. I worked for someone like this back in the .com days. This person there's so many of these posers who don't want to run a business. They just want funding and play make-believe CEO. That's exactly what happened here. You are not a businessman or a businesswoman if your company doesn't make a profit. You are a parasite. This year, she had been recognized by Forbes magazines on its 30 under 30 list. Wasn't that Bankman or Finkman guy? And someone did a study, all these 40 under 40, 30 under 30, like it's a shockingly good predictor if people end up going to jail. And no one in those lists ever make real money. Like that's the worst part. You don't want to be on those lists. But people who knew LePere said she had big ambitions beyond her startup. She wanted to disrupt the tech industry's reigning power structure of white men and make way for more women and other people of disadvantaged groups. Fuck you. You're discriminatory. You are a bigot. It should be who is the best. I mean, if she wanted to run a business, go ahead. You go run your business. I hope you make lots of money. But you're going to find out her company never made money. And here she is already. She's Jessica Christ from the suburbs. She's going to save the world as long as it doesn't take math or work. She was determined to shake up the industry, and the Good Old Boys Network said equally worthless person, Delilah Drizrasa, CEO of Fearless, another Baltimore-based tech startup that also doesn't probably make money. Drizrasa said that that's a guy? Delilah? Drizrasa said he spoke with LePere on the subject as recently as last week at a phone conversation. I remember getting off the call and thinking, they better watch out, he said. It was nice to hear that energy in her voice. I got news for you. If you're two CEOs of real companies, you're not talking about politics. You're like, hey, we got to make money. Baltimore police said LePere was found dead Monday morning and are searching for a repeat violent offender, Jason Billingsley, as a suspect in the case. He's his own article you could find out. They found out things about him, track record, was recently being searched for a suspect in a raisin case. Billingsley's mother said Wednesday she has urged her son by text to turn himself in. So he has been arrested and charged since. There's a Photoshop picture of her. That is not what she looks like. She is overweight. Pavel LePere, via Instagram. LePere was a native to Tucson, Arizona, went to Johns Hopkins University for college. According to an interview posted on the university website, she studied computer science for 3 years before switching her major to sociology because she said math was hard and I really didn't want to work that much. She wanted to use entrepreneurship to solve inequalities in society. That is not how you use entrepreneurship to make money and employ people. You produce good services and products that benefit everyone at a good price, and that is how you help out everyone. If you want to solve inequalities in society, start voting Libertarian or Republican, because the Democrats sure the hell don't know what they're doing. And let's just be honest here, that was just because she didn't want to work. Math was boring. While in school, she led an organization to foster entrepreneurship. I find that rich because you didn't make money. And organized a conference for student entrepreneurs from across Maryland. Did she ever work security and pay her way? I'm just wondering. Mac Conwell, a venture capitalist, said he met LePere at that conference while she was attending college and was blown away by her optimism and charisma. You should hear nothing is being said in this article. Nothing. She was the most exciting and ambitious and bubbly person to the point where I asked myself, is she for real? He said. No, she's not, because there's no profit in this firm. As a senior at Hopkins, she founded her startup, which less than 5 years later has about 30 employees and a client list that includes Meta and other owner of Facebook. According to Forbes, Ecomax products include chatbots and other resources for small business. Trade Association University has raised $7.4 million from investors, including a funding round last month. Okay, if you need funding, you aren't making money. So this company has been employed for 5 years, 7.4 million lost, wasted. And now it needs more funding. This is a hobby. And 7.4 million could have gone to someone else or some other group of people. Sharon Davis, EcoMap's chief operating officer, said it was important to LePere that the startup address inequality in society. She built this company that was focused on making information accessible to people who historically didn't have access to the information, he said, because we have been keeping minorities and women away from the internet. They don't even, don't tell them. Friends said that LePere was well aware of the small number of U.S. tech companies started by women and how little the venture capitalist investments got the investment money they get, as they're a small percentage. U.S. startups with women-only founders receive just about 2% of the capital. Are they 2% of the founders? Of course, the journalist did not, which the pitch book and percentages stayed roughly the same for more of a decade. They're overlooking women, and when they do, they rob society of all the innovation that comes from all the thought leadership and all that potential. Gerard said. Like Gerard's startup, EcoMap was committed to a 50-50 goal of employing staff that is half women and half people of color. So no white males. Again, that is racism and sexism. I just bigotry in general. That's okay, though. Do you think I like this person? This person is my enemy. This person doesn't like me. I haven't done anything to this person. Conwell said that the last time he saw LePere, he told her to make sure she was taking care of herself and making time for fun outside of work. Yeah, because cocktail parties and nonprofit fundraisers are. She responded. Her response showed her selflessness. She said, "I am working on those things. Mac, thank you. But once I become a millionaire, I'll be able to help a lot more people and do a lot more things." But as a result, many founders, Baltimore tech community focused on tech products that would make society more equal, Conwell said, or Equitech for short. Equitable tech. Equitable tech. Huh? See that? Is there one company in Baltimore with your tech community there that actually makes a profit? Or is it just a bunch of vaginas pissing away venture capitalist money? We don't want to be the next Silicon Valley. We want to be the first Equitech city, he said Wednesday night. Hundreds of people gathering in the Chaz Historic George Washington. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is from the dad. She knew what she wanted to accomplish, and there was nothing in the world that would get in the way of her accomplishing that, her father, Frank LePere, said. She was the definition of daddy's little girl. I'm sure she was. She had me wrapped up and still does, he said, his voice cracking. She turned from daddy's little girl into being a girl boss. You can read this. You can read this more if you like. I will not say who. You'll never guess. You will not know who, but somebody had already talked about this video, who I listen to his podcast regularly. A little heavy on the foul language, which is not, well, I am critiquing, but he's not going to, it's his choice. He then went on to quote an article from Russia Today or RT, which, yes, I know it's biased, but what the hell was ABC News with Mr. Ingram and his sore vagina talking about? I don't trust any of the news, but in the article then goes on, they found out who the guy was. Shock, guy had, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. They went back into things she said and all this, and she's a rank leftist, Black Lives Matter supporter and all this other stuff. So then they find out who arrested this Billingsley guy. Again, in fairness, he hasn't had his day in court, so he might be found innocent, but so far they have charged him. He has a criminal record, all this other stuff. He happens to be a black guy. That is, it makes it ultra rich with her being a BLM supporter and all that, but I'm saying it's more criminal here because you voted for it. And I would like to point out to leftists, I don't know how many of you got to die at the hands of your own creations, but I honestly think, and this is why I mentioned the Amy Beale incident, I honestly think that you love your politics more than yourself. And when I say you love your politics, you fear work more than you want life. And you will go so far as to avoid any sort of real work to either get a real life philosophy, produce something of real value, actually help out people who are in disadvantaged communities by being empirical and realistic about it. And that whole article, the fake She's not making money. She's fake. Her attitude is fake. She didn't want to work. I mean, I can see it. That inevitably, that avoiding work, avoiding reality, and then making a career out of it, especially if you're a politician or you're going to be an activist like the other guy was, you bring about a culture, a community, and sometimes people who have no fathers, who are raised by the state, who have no discipline, who've had just given free things. And in this particular case, you seed envy, hatred, and rage with this trait-based politics stuff, that some of you are going to bite it. Some of you will be killed by your own creations, or certainly living in lower standards of living. Now, the ultimate is you're going to die of starvation because you knew better. And those evil farmers, we need to steal their, oh, that Stalin guy, he knows what he's doing. That starvation, the lack of food. But in the meantime, some of you might bite it from some of your supporters, of some of these people that you've created. People who don't know about work. People who don't know about self-supportation. People who all you've taught is hatred, greed, envy, jealousy, and pity. And whether it was the Carson guy or this latest gal, a lot of people are applauding. I'm not necessarily applauding. I think it's funny. I think it's just desserts. I think it's poetic justice. But I'm wondering, do you see this? Do you see how you're not helping anyone? And now you're starting to pay the price. Even the people in San Francisco, you're the ones who have the street shitters. You're the ones that are inconvenient. There's a whole article about how it adds 10 minutes to my day to go shopping because I got to get all this stuff unlocked from behind the shelves. You voted for it. Don't tell me you're a Republican. Don't tell me you went crazy and voted Libertarian. Or even the conservative Democrat who might be pro-cop. Don't tell me. You brought this upon yourself. And I find it really interesting. Here's what you're going to find out. They will not admit they're wrong because their politics mean more to them than life itself. Whoever, the articles being written, the people who are going to celebrate our life. There was no life. There's no life. She wasted, but she employed all those people. No, if you took that 7.4 million and you invested it elsewhere, those other people would have been employed. There just would have been a product, and there would have been more employment because the money wouldn't have been wasted. And you were like, oh, look, we can employ more people, and there's some profit at the end. We make a good product that people want. There was nothing lost. There really wasn't. Nothing for community. I'm sure, obviously, a person, a daughter, a friend was lost. Yes, I get that. But in terms of contributions to society, nothing was lost in either case. And I'm just wondering, are you guys going to say, hey, our own people are starting to kill us? Our ideology is creating people who are pooping in our streets or stealing our stuff or driving up the cost of everything. Where it's not working. I almost guarantee there are two instances of this I remember where vegan couples had kids and the kids died because the vegan couple wouldn't give the kid protein, little baby infant. Going forward, and here's what I'm saying. Going forward, mark my words, you are going to see it will be a death cult. I think Chris Beckloff said it best. Socialism ends with one socialist on top of a pile of skulls, in a loincloth saying, I won. That's what it is. They will not admit they're wrong because their fear of getting a real job, of what that means, the world they have to face if they had to get and not just go to like parties and fundraisers and drink champagne. Oh my goodness, she was such a bubbly personality. Could she code? Did she sit and think, maybe I want to like make a product that people want? Or was she literally just not even white collar, a bougie caviar panhandler, where it wasn't enough that she had like an HR job made up for her, like an academic, but no, she had to be president and CEO and be like the Theranos chick, like that, where like you guys literally gave this person $7.4 million. And because it wasn't good enough, she just, whatever, donated time. She had to be president. She had to be girl boss. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Are you going to admit? Here's what I want to know. Here's what I want. Are you going to, any lefty? I would love it. No cursing, no. Just I want to know. Are you going to admit that there's a partial responsibility that some of this was self-inflicted or no? Is it still the Republicans in the Senate or white men or whatever the boogeyman? Are you going to admit that voting left all this time it had a little bit to do with these people's own demise? That these Frankenstein creations, just like the Frankenstein monster in the book, ended up turning on Dr. Frankenstein himself. Are you no? Yes? And if you are going to admit that, which by the way, it's true, is no other duh. Okay, are you going to change tactics? Are you going to change because you're not helping any of these people you're trying to help? You're not one cause after throwing 30 trillion after 6 decades after it, have you improved? I mean, I'm empirical. Like, whatever you're doing ain't working. And now it's starting to harm some of you. Are you going to admit what you're trying to do is wrong? Not the goal, but your method is not working and is detrimental. So I want to know. And I'm being very, very reserved because she doesn't like white men. Obviously, she is discriminating against me. But apparently, I got all the power. Like, oh, he's got it. Look at that. A white dick. I must have all the power. I wasn't brought up poor. So there you go. So link below if you guys. Now, I know no leftist is going to listen to it, but if you want to understand leftists, you want to learn how to capitalize. Okay, 2 things. Sanity is the future of wealth. It's a short essay. I have it linked below. Guys, you don't need the money. You just need to be sane. And once you're sane, you're not going to be these idiots more. Oh, she was a great person. Orwellian speak, Orwellian speak, Orwellian speak. She was bubbly. Maybe she was. A member of the community. The thief and all around irrelevant person, I'd say. And then also link below is enjoy the decline, accepting living with the death of the United States, because that's where you are. You can't go to Baltimore. It's not safe. It's not safe. Sock Talk, $5. Are we ever going to get Enjoy the Decline 2 Maximum Overdrive? No, I don't do sequels or updates. I just don't have the time. I try to do new stuff. New book, by the way, World Without Men. Another thing, but you didn't need no. Wonder if the cop that arrested that guy was a guy or not. Anyway, World Without Men, that's coming out here pretty soon. Give me another month or so. Hand clogs, $5. Women think their youth ends at 40 and from 40 to 60 is being middle-aged. Just Google it. Happy Cappy, so happy. Glory to our robot dog overlords. Is it? Do they think 60 is middle-aged? I don't care. I don't care what women think. They can think what they want, and I have tried to reason with them. I've tried reasoning with men. Try reasoning with men in the middle of a housing bubble saying, yeah, your loan portfolio is going to tank if you don't start taking measures. No one, especially women though, I'll grant you that. No one listens to what they need to hear. They only listen to what they want to hear. And yeah, you're right, girl. 60 is the new 25, and you could get pregnant at 70. So you keep postponing. You're going to win that lottery. And by God, that prince is just around the corner. Elias Lewis, $10. Cappy, I've been watching for years, and I've been creeping up until now. No longer. You've saved my life, and I appreciate the hell out of you starting a business, a painting company, focusing on me. Good for you, Elias. Well, Elias, don't you want to save lives, change the world, to bring about equality? But first, you're going wrong. Elias, you're doing it all wrong. Painting? People need painting. Why are you delivering a product that people need? You should force what you want to do on society. And don't worry if no one pays for it. Just go get funding. Claim to be a girl boss. Girl boss. Get funding. Have Forbes, right? Like, there should be no top 40 under 40, 30 under 30 if your company ain't making money. You're a loser. You are literally losing money. Elias, you don't understand how the bigwigs do it over on the East Coast. Well, you see, you gotta raise funds and then you capture a market. So you don't understand. Okay. Meanwhile, the painter's got a higher net worth than most of the investment bankers over in New York. Factious Lou, a T-Lou, $2. Beat any ducks. No, I miss that dog though down in Vegas. I get to see her here in a couple more months. Ivy the dog. So I give her lots of treats and snacks and go for lots of walks and hikes. All right, that's it. I'll see you guys later, Toodles.